Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick 17, Day 17 of albums that are 30 years old in 2024. As we look back on the year 1994, we've got 31 days in the month, actually. 31. Can't forget that last one. And each day we're picking out a new favorite, our favorite 31 albums across all genres from 1994. Today, for Day 17, pick number 17. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all my Irish friends around the world for this pick. This is the fourth studio album from this American band. Released October 4th, 1994. Recorded at Ocean Way Studios in Los Angeles and Sound City Studios in Van Nuys, also in California. Produced by Rick Rubin and Glenn Danzig for American Recordings. Talking about Danzig 4. That's right. Fourth album from Glenn and Company. Maybe not quite as strong as the three that came before it, but I still think it is part of the essential Danzig albums that you need to own. If you're only going to get a handful of them, you got to have the first four, including this one. So, of course, this is the last album with the classic lineup of Glenn Danzig on vocals. Excuse me, a little bit of guitar, a little bit of keyboards, piano, right? John Christ, the great John Christ on guitar. Eerie Von on bass, and Chuck Biscuits on drums. What do we got on this album, you ask? Well, it starts off with a bang with Brand New God, which is just a terrific, terrific song. I love the big, riffy, menacing Danzig stuff, and there's a good chunk of that on this album. Brand New God is terrific. It's got his anguish, kind of like metallic Jim Morrison type vocals, right? I always thought Glenn's vocals on these Danzig albums are very, very cool. You got the kind of brooding little whip, right? A lot of the songs on this album like start off kind of like moody and just kind of like depressing and menacing, and then they rear their fast-paced metallic roots like midway through the song, and some of the other songs just kind of like drift along in this just kind of brooding fashion. This is a really interesting album. Can't Speak is kind of like that. Can't Speak just kind of like undulates and just bubbles and boils and never really gets out of first gear, but it's a really cool first gear, right? Can't Speak is really cool. It's just a haunting kind of type of track. Going Down to Die, there's some cool, like kind of like anthemic stuff on here. That's one of them. Until You're Caught in the Dark is one of my favorites. Big riffy song. Love that quite a bit. Dominion is very cool. Again, brooding. Bringer of Death is awesome as well. Sadistical, I'm not really into. Not quite sure what that's supposed to be. It's just all these weird sound effects and vocal effects and things, and that's, to me, that's just kind of like a filler track. Son of the Morning Star is very cool. I Don't Mind the Pain is another terrific track. Love Stalker Song. That's another one of those kind of slow builders. The beginning is just kind of like moody and weird and atmospheric, and then boom. Let It Be Captured is cool, and then Invocation is a kind of like another little throwaway. You got like kind of keyboards in there. What doesn't really do much of anything. It's pretty short. But for me, I mean, you got 13 tracks on this album. I mean, 75% of them are really, really good. There's a couple throwaways on this one, which I don't know if you could really say about the three that came before it, but I still think the stuff that's really good on this album is really, really good. So, yeah, I like it a lot. I really like the first four Danzig albums quite a bit, as the CDs are falling off my shelf over there. All right, didn't even wake Nuke up. Yeah, Nuke was like, man, whatever. I don't know, can't really see. There we go. You can see the CD right there. And then Nuka is just kind of like, she's like, yeah, nothing bothers me, Daddy. So whatever. Anyway, chart position, Australia. This made it to number 95. The Billboard Top 200 charts here in the States. This made it to number 29. And the Sverige Toplisten made it to number 36. I have no idea what that is. I've never seen that before. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know what that is. Is that like a German chart or something like that? Or somewhere over in Scandinavia? I don't know. Never heard that before. Don't know what it is. And as far as singles, Can't Speak was released 1995. The following year, in fact, the following year after this came out, so this came out in October, the album, they started releasing singles in early 1995, and I Don't Mind the Pain was also released as a single. I'm sure neither one of them did much of anything. And then, of course, with Danzig 5, Black Acid Devil, right? Band, total upheaval, changed their sound, and kind of drifted for a couple of years trying to figure out what the hell to do, right? As a lot of bands did in the 90s. So, anyway, That is my pick for today. Danzig 4. Let us know what you think of this down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 17, day number 17, and we'll see you tomorrow for number 18. What do we got coming up on the channel, you might ask? In just a little while, ranking the albums. I'm going to be ranking the catalog of Creator. That's right. All these very, very fine albums. So 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Creator. Lots of good stuff here. Hordes of Chaos, Phantom Antichrist, the whole kit and caboodle. I'm ranking the whole catalog, all 15 albums. So that's coming up in just a little while. And then later on tonight actually, Rich Catino and myself will be doing the first episode of a ongoing periodic series, kind of like a primer to the new wave of traditional metal. These are all these young bands that are popping up out of the woodwork and have been over the last several years, paying homage to the great bands of the early 80s, right? So you got this kind of like American new wave of British heavy metal thing coming together, just really doing what traditional metal always sounded like. That's what these young bands are doing. There's a ton of them. So each episode we're going to be picking 5. We're going to talk about these bands and their music, their albums, what they're like. So these will be a good primer for those of you who are kind of looking for new bands that play old school sounding heavy metal, traditional heavy metal. This is the new wave of traditional heavy metal, not the new wave of British heavy metal, right? This is new wave of traditional heavy metal. So each episode, 5 new bands for you to check out. That's coming up later on tonight, so don't miss it. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, down there in the video description, link to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. So thank you in advance for all your support there, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. Don't forget, also tomorrow we got coming up Hudson Valley Squares. It's Create Our Own Judas Priest Greatest Hits CD. That's what we're doing. Everybody's going to be putting together a track list to fill out a 60 to 70 minute CD of some of their favorite Judas Priest mandatory material. Could be picking the hits, could be picking deep cuts. Everybody's going to be picking different stuff. So tune in and see what everybody has chosen for their Priest Greatest Hits compilation. You are welcome to do so as well at home and put those in the comments below. That's coming up tomorrow on the Hudson Valley Squares. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.